What? Excuse the mess. How you guys doing today? Just trying something new here. You probably see more of the mess, which I have to clean up. A little tidying goes a long way. It's a lot calmer than yesterday. Yesterday was a field day. Put up the Christmas lights, so it was really windy and cold, but. And I also got my hands on a French press. Woo! 600 ml, not 1 liter, but it is very fine. And you're supposed to let it stew in the grounds for like 4 to 5 minutes. Then you remove it from that said French press, or else the coffee's going to become bitter. But I like bitter, so I just leave it in there. Well, I was doing some tarot last night. I like the contrast between these. This is the normal Rider-Waite deck, and this has the White Rose of York is what it's called. It's a white rose, but it's like a symbol for purity and innocence, rebirth, right? But this is found on the death card, which is number 13, death card. And that sounds ominous, but it's not really ominous. It's it's like rebirth. It's like the phoenix type of thing, like letting things go that are no longer serving you. And I just thought that was interesting, because that's the same rose on the death card, the flag the king, the fallen crown is holding on his horse. This is the same flower. Rider-Waite called it the mystic flower, the mystic rose. But so this is the traditional Rider-Waite, illustrated by Coleman from the early 1900s, I believe. And this is the same card. This is the 3 swords, but this is the same card, and it's just taken moments after the Rider-Waite. It's called the after tarot. I like that. You can see the swords are in the heart. I was like, oh, that's a little rough, but this is really what it means. You see the heart's all bandaged up, and the swords are released, right? I like that. And all the cards are like that from that deck. White Mystic Rose. The normal name escapes me. Rosala Semphina. If you look that up, you'll come up with this rose. White Rose of York. The Rosicrucian rose. And this one on the outside is these ones, red roses with a cross. But this means the same thing, because it's Mary, Virgin Mary, purity. Rose, cross, mystic rose, purity. I just like that. I'm getting into tarot now. It's all fun. And I'm learning about astrology, the astrology signs, and the rising and the sun rising, moon rising, those kind of things. Because I am a Cancer. Last day Cancer, 2 weeks premature, but I am a Cancer. Meant to be a Leo. I was meant to die that day. Along with my mom on the operating table. But, you know, what I believe is miracles are just misbehaved tragedies propelled by a little chaos. And it was meant to be like that. But I do have Cancer characteristics, and then I have Leo characteristics. Like I'm talking to you right now, right? Got this. It's all about Leo. Has a lot of pride. It's the lion, right? And Cancer's the crab. It has a different way of walking, but it still walks that way, no matter what. Beat your own drum. Leos are more directed by their heart. Cancer, their emotions. So then you have me. Don't get me. Like I'm very easygoing now, but every sign has a dark and a light side, right? So a lesser developed Leo or Cancer will come off as narcissistic and over emotional, right? Just caught up in their emotions, just getting mad all the time. But I balanced myself, right? Doesn't mean I don't slip once in a while, but I do come from a genuine place. I love this cup. It's a great cup. Pour some coffee. Oh, my matcha. Well, that's unsettling. It's the last thing I pour because the matcha doesn't sit well. It doesn't stay mixed well. It starts to unmix itself if you leave it for too long. That's why I need a matcha. You don't need a matcha bowl. I have a deep bowl, a honeycomb bowl. It's my favorite bowl. And then you get that matcha whisk and you do a W form shape, and it creates a foam. Then you add more water, and then that's how it mixes. I'm gonna get it. Oh, I'm gonna get it. Get you one way or another. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna one way or another. Oh, I'm on fire. Hey, little birds are daddy home. Oh, they leave you on. Oh, I'm on fire. Whoa, whoa, I have my matcha. I just wanted to show you. You need a deep bowl for the matcha because you gotta kind of do it friskily. See how I love this honeycomb bowl, and it's nice and deep. It's one of my favorites. And then here's the matcha whisk. And then you just go, not like this. And it's very cool. It's a bitter drink. Sometimes I'm a little bitter. But good stuff. Increases metabolism by 45%. Filled with antioxidants. Has natural calming properties for the mind. With a little dash of caffeine. So, sensories. One second. This strap is made from an old seatbelt. Reused, recycled. Peace and love are the signs. And this is the strap Neil Young wore in the 70s. You can see him in probably the album cover of Live Rust. 1978 Live Rust. Is that what it is? 79. And he did I have this DVD live in Berlin, 1982. And he performed. He was on Trans tour. But he did live like a hurricane, and he was wearing the strap, and among other things. And it's just very interesting. And he actually performed with Crazy Horse and Nils Lofgren. Nils Lofgren. He's a cool guy. You ever heard of Nils? Nils space Lofgren. Nils Lofgren. He's cool. He released this album of Neil Young covers. I think he called it Long May You Run, because that was his favorite Neil Young song. And he actually performed with Neil Young in the 1993 MTV Unplugged. And Neil Young was going to skip that song, Long May You Run, because he wasn't feeling it with the audience. And then Nils was like, do the song. And then they did the song. So if you listen to that CD or watch that video on YouTube, Long May You Run happened because of Nils. That was actually the second time they did the MTV concert. The first time was scrapped. It was a no-go. They redid it a year later. But one of my favorites from that performance, from that set list, is the opening, Old Laughing Lady. Because when Neil first released it, it was a lot slower and darker. I think it was a self-titled Neil Young album, the first album. But this one, in that performance, is more higher spirited, is MTV Unplugged. And Old Laughing Lady, it's death via addiction. And addiction can be anything. Anything that consumes you, that you give yourself to, without the will, discipline, the crutches. So the Old Laughing Lady, he's talking about death, right? You can't have a cupboard if there ain't no wall. You gotta keep on moving, ain't no time to stall. Yeah, he loves the Old Laughing Lady, 'cause the taste is so sweet. But the Old Laughing Lady ain't the kind of love you can keep. See the drunkard of the village falling on the streets. Can't tell the shoe's ankle from his feet. Death. But you wouldn't know it just by listening to it, would you? You gotta decipher Neil Young's lyrics because they're so profound. Like, he shows them on one level, but he wants you to go to a whole nother level. It's like Morpheus showing you the door, but Neo has to walk through it, type of thing. It's the same with spiritual teachings or any kind of teaching, really. You can teach someone, you can tell someone to look at a textbook and read it, but to understand it, to process it for themselves, to see it in the way they process the world, that's true understanding and knowing. And the best teachers teach in that way. You want to tell me? I'll tell you a story. The best time in my school was shop class. It was ran by this guy named Henry Grant. Mr. Grant, I had a way of finding teachers' first names, because I didn't really believe in them being above me. We were in it together type of thing. And when you say Mr. Grant, it's so formal. But yeah, Henry Grant, who was dyslexic, he was great. But later in the years, he co-ran the class, the shops class, building construction with Brent Fraze, Mr. Fraze. And he had a way, right? Like the guitar. What is this? He'd point at something, what is this? He'd be like, that's a guitar. He's like, no. Try again. What is it? No. And you're like, wood? And then he was like, this is solid sunshine. It absorbed the sun and it grew, and without it, it wouldn't have grown. And then we chop it down and we use it for our means. So this is solid sunshine. And it totally revamped how I looked at things. I don't know if you know that. But if you can change how you look at things, that's true expansion, really. Not just stuck, settled in your ways. Matcha's done. Drink my... Well, I didn't even sip on my water yet. Something I haven't really figured out the details of. That's up, you know. You can hit the same string. So the last string, you can hit it down. And you can hit up. Do you hear the difference? It's all in the tone and the nails. I haven't cut my nails in a long time, but I do need to cut them in a certain fashion. But when I do cut them, there's this thing from the Office TV show. This guy is a prankster, and he likes pranking on this guy that's just trying to do his job well. But so he had this phone, this old school phone that you can unscrew the caps, and you would put a coin in it every day and make it heavier. And then the guy in question got, used to the weight of it. And then one day he just took all the coins out. And then so he went to answer the call again. It hit him in the face, right? That's what it's like when I cut my nails. Like it's just, I got nowhere. I got no tethered. I got just a body in space. Literally. If you see this, we're confined by the laws of gravity because this is Earth, but we are technically still in space. Like the air. It has physical components, but it is like 80-90% space. It's like between particles, right? And that space is space, right? We are technically in space. We are technically space. Our bodies are technically space. I don't know if you know that. But plankton. You want to treat yourself. There's this old guy that's still kicking. You probably never heard of him. His name's Dave Bixby. D-A-V-E space B-I-X-B-Y. Just watch him perform live. And he's just this old guy. But what a man. Like in 2018, he did this live show. And he performed his song Morning Sun. I don't know if you know this, but David Bowie, he recorded Heroes in Berlin, right? But he had 3 mics. One really far, one closer, and then one right to his face. And then we could be heroes just for one day. You know, when he escalated, the furthest mic picked up and created this soundstage. If you watch Dave Bixby perform live, Morning Sun, he has 2 mics. He sings close, very sensually, and then when he escalates, he goes this other mic, and he's like, you know? And that picks up, and it creates, it's very interesting that no one really does that anymore. It's like Neil Young and his sound pedals, old black, you know, the Gibson Les Paul. He'll do like very electric, and then he'll switch to rhythm, and he has these distortion pedals, and it's like that, right? But Dave Bixby is phenomenal, and then his guitar tone, it's like John Frusciante or Jesse Vernon. Jesse Vernon, sorry. Which is Bon Iver. You ever hear Bon Iver? Stax? R.E. Stax? You watch him perform live, he has his tone. And John Frusciante has his tone, his guitar tone. Well, Dave Bixby has his tone, and it's pretty legendary. Bird and Hearts in the next video. I'm going to cut this short. It was nice talking to you about my interests. And I'll talk to you again. I'll do a video of Bird and Hearts. Love you all. Actually, I have a new system and I don't know how to stop it. There we go.